What's up, Korean language learners? Jae here to try to teach you something today. It could be through a rant, it could be through a very nice explanation. Whatever it is, you're gonna learn something. So here we go. Today's topic, we are gonna talk about polite speech. And what does polite speech mean exactly? So you'll be able to see to your right of the screen that I've put there for you the difference between greeting someone politely and greeting someone informally. There is a very big difference between the two, and usually when we start learning Korean, the rule tells us that you should start with polite speech, but it doesn't really tell you why. And so a lot of people don't really follow the rules, which I feel is quite a shame. Okay, I was planning to start off on a rant, but some people might be sensitive or whatever, so I'm trying to be nice as possible. Okay, so something I see very commonly is people greeting each other with 안녕, 안녕. Okay, in a certain context, that's fine, but let me tell you a context in which it is not acceptable. All right, and I don't want any excuses. I don't want excuses like, oh, we're just practicing. Then practice the right fucking way. Even if you're doing it with a friend, you should still start off the right way, because you're supposed to be practicing with someone in order to prepare yourself for a situation where you actually want to use it. Like, for example, when you go to Korea, you want to use the correct type of speech, because honestly, people are going to be offended, and I will tell you from personal experience that people have been offended because I failed to greet them. I always greeted people the right way, but I failed to use polite speech sometimes because I was still new at the time and I forgot. And some people, like in a shop, for example, when you're ordering something, you could see on their face that they were kind of pissed off. Like, this fucking foreigner comes into my store, disrespects me with her informal language usage. No respect, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's personal experience, you guys. So I'm here to save you from that. I'm here to save you from the embarrassment and, possibly the wrath of someone. And this applies to talking to people online as well. Please practice polite speech. So, that being said, I'm going to explain to you now what polite speech actually is, and why we should use it instead of informal speech, even when we're practicing, because you want to do things the right way. Okay? So, to the right of your screen, there'll always be words. What is that lint that suddenly got on my face? What the fuck? Wait, okay. Okay, I have checked the video, and there was not lint on my face the whole time. It just suddenly was there. I don't know when. Okay, anyway. So, proper greeting, people. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요. Try not to have the H as well. 안녕하세요. It sounds so weird, unnatural. Lets people know immediately you're a foreigner if it wasn't obvious already from your face. Without the H. An H in the middle of a word usually isn't sounded like names. 민호. M-I-N-H-O. 민호. 태영. BTS 태영. You don't really hear the H. 태형. They don't ever say that. If you don't believe me, start actually noticing whenever Jimin says his name. 태영아. Like that. 태영. Okay? It's slight. It's there. It's very slight. So, the same applies for when you're greeting someone. 안녕하세요. Okay? Very, very subtle H. And this is the greeting you should be using all the time. It is the greeting that is used in 90% of situations. Okay? There's an even more polite speech than polite speech, which is formal speech. but you don't need to know this because it's used in like when you're talking to your boss or like big boss or like super ancestors with rank or something like that. But you don't need to know that. Let's just only focus today on for a polite speech and impolite speech. Okay, so polite and informal. Sorry, informal. Yeah. Okay. So 안녕하세요 and 안녕. When should we use 안녕? Only if it's someone you know very well. Someone who you know is much, much, much younger than you. Okay, I have a great example as to how polite speech and informal speech can make a super huge difference in establishing someone's relationship, friendship, whatever it is. An example is how I went on a date with this Korean guy. He stopped me on the street in Hongdae and asked for my number, and then I felt kind of pressured to go out with him, so I did. We made plans on another day. Before that, we texted back and forth quite a bit, but because it's someone new that I just met, so I maintained polite speech all the way. And you can show this this like respect and also social distance, not a physical distance, but a social distance by maintaining polite speech the whole time, always ending your sentences with yo, and always watching what you say and maybe not using like certain slangs or certain types of words. So it's the same in English, of course, please and thank yous, and not using slang words, right, that you would use with your friends. The way you talk to your boss might be different. So it's the same way in Korean. And on the date, I think on the second date, he wanted to get closer to me. But by the second date, I had told myself that I don't want to see this guy anymore. I gave him 2 chances, and we just weren't feeling it. There just wasn't chemistry, and he felt like a really desperate guy for some reason. So he kept suggesting throughout the second date that I should drop my polite speech. And the reason why someone does this is to say like, don't be so polite with me so that we can get closer. By using informal language, it establishes a closer relationship. And by my constantly refusing to drop my polite speech and go to informal speech, that was an indicator. It was an indication for him that I wasn't ready to feel closer or want to get closer, and nor did I want to. So every time he suggested speak comfortably, I would say no. And it really was kind of a subtle rejection. So he understood that I wasn't ready to get closer. And this is the reason why polite speech exists. It shows that either you are a new relationship, new friendship, new or just a customer and a store owner, or staff and customer, something like that. It establishes your relationship clearly, and that's why you use the polite speech. An informal speech is used to show like the next level in a relationship. Hey, we're close enough. We can drop the polite speech and we can be informal and as casual with each other as possible, and be like sort of rude, I guess. It's the same way as you'd be like, don't do that, bitch. Like that sounds, to someone else, that may sound kind of rude. To a person you don't know, you would never say that to someone you don't know unless you intended to be rude, right? So that is an example of why the different like classes of speech exist. It actually exists in the English language too. It's just that we don't make such a huge deal out of it. It's like, you know, something we already know, and we don't make a huge distinction out of it. We just like fall into it naturally, most of us. And yeah, a lot of the time we practice it without even knowing. And now you know why the same sort of class exists in Korean speech as well. So let me give you an example now, because I was talking earlier about how the Korean guy was saying, let's speak more comfortably with each other. And the phrase for that he said quite a lot is 편하게 말해도 돼. Why did I have to hesitate and think about that? I was trying to think about the exact thing he said, but I can't exactly remember. But anyway, the common way to say this, to establish a closer relationship, is to say 편하게 말해도 돼. And he says it to me, so he doesn't need to say yo. He's older than me. So he was trying to, even if you're older than someone, you should still... Wow, I guess I missed this whole chapter. Okay, it's not too late to tell you now. Even if you're older than someone, when you first meet them, you still need to stick to polite speech, unless you want to establish that you want to get closer. So the older person initiates it first, as I will show in this example right here, where I get into a group chat with my friend Minju and her younger sister Minzo. Minju is already younger than me, and her younger sister is even younger. So I come into the group chat, Minju introduces me, and I say, Minzo. I spell it out in Korean. Hello, I wrote hello in Korean. Hello, like I spelled it in Korean. And I say 안녕. Right there, you can see it. Minzo, hello, 안녕. And then the next line is 편하게 말해도 되지? Okay, that's what I say. 편하게 is comfortably. 말해 is to speak. So I can speak comfortably here, right? And Minju says, yes, sure. And see, that's how I, as the oldest person in the chat room, establishes that I, you know, number one, I'm really old. I'm older, and I should be able to talk down to you guys. Not talk down in the sense where I'm condescending, but talk down in the sense that I don't need to use polite speech with people who I know are much, much younger than me. And Minju is already such a good friend. I've known her for like 2 years. Minzo is really much younger than me. She's like 15. So, you know, as a full-grown adult, I shouldn't have to, you know, speak politely to her. That's how Koreans would feel. And the reason why I can say this to you with confidence is because my friends all tell me, like, when they're around me, they feel like they're around a regular Korean person anyway, because I follow the rules like so, like I've adapted to the rules like so well when I'm speaking to Korean people or when I'm in Korea. I don't act this way, you know, when I'm outside of Korea. I'm not a Korea boo. I know my own culture, and I'm super proud of it. Chinese. And but there's nothing wrong with adapting to other cultures. So anyway, yes. So you can see in the chat here that I just immediately suggested, can I speak comfortably to you guys? I'll speak comfortably. They're not speaking comfortably. Minju, having known me for so long, might have a right to speak to me informally, but she doesn't. She's so cute. She doesn't. She still has yo half the time now. It used to be all the time, but now it's yo half the time. And so that is, see, this is what I'm telling you about. It's a gradual shift to establish closeness in a relationship. Her little sister, of course, speaks to me with yo all the time and politely answers me with polite yes, 네, 네, or 아니요. All these polite ways to answer someone. Sorry, this video is kind of a little bit all over the place. This is the first time I'm filming it, and I guess it wasn't very well structured. I had the points in mind what I wanted to talk about, but I tend to get very distracted or just veer off on a totally different course. But here is, I don't want this video to go on too long unless you tell me in the comments that you don't mind it being long because you would like more examples and more thorough explanations. Then it gives me a better peace of mind to be able to go on as long as I want and give you as many examples as possible. But here is a summary of the things that we went over today. Okay? Always, first greeting must always be polite. 안녕하세요. No matter what your age, status, relationship is, first greeting must always be 안녕하세요. And this applies to online as well. Always be polite, because Koreans have the same rules when they do things online as well. Polite speech includes answering people with the correct polite responses, like even for yes, no, and I'll tell you the difference between yes. Yes is 네 for polite. For informal, you can answer with or what else? All the cute sounds to or That's how I answer. Example. If someone asks me, 언니 식사했어요? And I'll be like, 했어. Or just, Or, is more common. I say more than anything. What was the question? 언니 식사했어요? 언니, have you had your meal yet? Or 언니, have you eaten? It's polite. Or, yeah, so there's many ways to say it. Notice the yo, and I don't have to answer 네. That's very weird. 네 is only for someone that's older than me or I don't know very well. Yeah. Okay. So the reverse is if I can ask someone younger than me. For example, my friend Minju, I would be like, 민주야 안 자네? Does that sound kind of weird? 민주야 아직 안 자네? Minju, you're still not sleeping? And she'll be like, 네. Yes. And then she can say something like, I'm doing my homework or something like that. So, yeah. These are the examples of how you should always be polite. I am sorry this video isn't the best. I promise I'll get better. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. And I might change my format, or I might change the length of the video as, based on feedback and stuff like that. But I hope this has been an interesting first video for you as to the reasons why we must do these things. There will be more videos that all connect them together, and then you'll be able to know better why the rules are the rules, why they are the way they are for the Korean language. If you have any questions about why something is the way it is, not really how to do something or how to say something, I'm not accepting those questions right now. You can easily use a dictionary or a translator. I want to tell you the reasons behind why things are the way they are, and so that you understand and follow the rules better. Okay? Just wait till the second installment of this series. I'm gonna go on a rant, I promise, because this next issue like really bothers me so fucking much when I see people doing this. So okay, that's it for the first video. I hope it has been enough. I promise it'll be better in the next one. I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Notice I said bye and not annyeong, because no, I don't know. I could, I guess, because like, you know, I'm talking to my audience, but it's really not a good practice. As you can see, idols like stick to polite speech all the time, and so it's kind of a little bit of arrogance to just suddenly be informal with everyone. Unless you are like really sure of your relationship. Yeah. Okay.